Vengeance.
Yo, we need to talk about the plight of the white billionaire orphan in the inner city. We need to talk about fucking vengeance. I want to talk about Gotham.
Yo, I think the Riddler's gonna come after you, man, because the Riddler was like, "Fuck all these orphan billionaires."
I mean, I agree with him. What do you mean come after me? Don't you see my hoodie? It's like pretty retro Riddler if you think about it. Was more
and you're in the Batcave too, eh? So you're fucking things up.
Facts. I'm in the future Batcave, which Pattinson is not gonna get this kind of Batcave for a long time. Because what? He's like year 3 Batman.
Yeah, ending year 2.
Yeah, exactly. Which is fucking wild. And I appreciate that you see the pitfalls.
Right. And so obviously everybody tuning in, listening in, streaming us fucking on podcast, YouTube, everybody, right? This is obviously the Legion on Zoom. This is Miguel with Legionnaires, obviously Ches and Rod for a very special episode where we're going to fucking dive deep into the Batman, right? So fucking what you can expect for today. We're going to fucking talk about the Batman, all the things we loved about it and probably little things we might have not liked, but we fucking loved it. And then, you know, stick around because we're going to have a fucking classic Who's More Epic, which we haven't done that in a minute. We're going to give you some comic book recommendations, and then we're going to go tinfoil hat moments talking about speculations for the next fucking movie.
Facts. Totally out of context without rhyme or reason. But yeah, dude, the movie was fucking awesome. Shit was crazy. It was long as fuck, though. One of the first things that stuck out to me, and I bring this up as soon as we exit the theater. I feel like they wasted literal film at certain spots. Like there were so many moments that if they would have been 2 to 3 seconds shorter, the film could have been like 2:45 easy instead of 3 hours long.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to talk about everything.
Exactly. And also, like, I feel like if you should at this point have seen it maybe more than once, because I think out of us, I think I'm the only one who's seen it twice already, right?
Yeah, I've only seen it once, but I'm definitely going to see it again. It needs
on HBO Max in like a month or some shit.
Oh, word! I think it is coming out in April actually, so that's not fucking too far away. So that's pretty cool. And then if you watch it twice too, again, I think I'll say be careful because I do have actually some bad news to share with the show. Like I'm actually going to be filing for divorce. So yesterday I saw the movie with my wife. It was my second time, my wife's first time, and she didn't like it. So what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to move on from that?
Just ask her to watch Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition and or the 4-hour Snyder Cut, which is coming up on a 1-year anniversary in a week.
Obligatory Snyder mention.
Fuck. Oh yeah,
exactly.
Has to. And that wasn't planned, you know.
We should have like a brand.
If you want to see a superior Batman film, definitely check those out. But I'm not disagreeing completely with Gene. I can see why it wasn't great. Like I got Andrew Garfield Spider-Man vibes. Like I enjoyed it. It was moody. You know, it was like the Lone Avenger. But at the same time, it like comparatively to like Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire, I feel like this one was like the Andrew Garfield of the Batman films. And that's not saying it's bad because Andrew Garfield was cool. I mean, part 2 was trash though. But I feel like this is like the Andrew Garfield. And then like I saw like a meme on Instagram that they were like roommates with Charlie Cox. I'm like, all these British dudes making these like moody superhero movies and shit.
I want to physically cause you harm. Yo, fucking.
What do you have against what Rod said? I actually felt like it was I love the comparison.
Okay, wait, first
the Andrew Garfield.
No, first of all, as for the divorce, is it really bad news? Because if she didn't like it, you don't need the type of energy in your life. So keep it moving.
You know what? Actually, you're probably right. It's for the best for my own self. My life's gonna improve from this.
Second, in the cesspool that is Batman roles, there are only a few shining stars. You got fucking Val Kilmer, George Clooney, fucking, I'll say it, Adam West. I think he sucks, unpopular opinion. Fucking like, and you're saying that Pattinson is the Andrew what?
But Andrew Garfield, okay, like visually, when he was cast, I was all in.
He was amazing. The only thing I have this weird caveat though, that for year 3 Batman, he's kind of OP. his armor was like Arkham City level shit. He was getting riddled with bullets.
Yeah. They kind of beasted a little bit.
He was getting riddled with fucking bullets like year 3.
I think just that to play devil's advocate, to be on Rod's side a little bit here, it's he's not saying that Andrew Garfield sucks, and he's not saying that Robert Pattinson sucks. No,
that's exactly what he's saying.
He's not comparing Robert Pattinson to fucking Val Kilmer, right? Or Andrew Garfield to Val Kilmer. It's like Andrew Garfield was great. He was a good Spider-Man. The second movie sucked. That's true. But I think that's a probably pretty fair comparison, especially now that we saw No Way Home, because we got to see Andrew Garfield kick ass again. And so we know he's a badass. But next to Toby, next to Tom,
bro,
you're left
in my list, it goes Bale, Pattinson. Then
wait, because that's our who's more epic coming up.
You're jumping ahead.
No, I'm angry, bro.
You're trying to trigger me. That's what you're doing.
all right, but wait. Let's talk about the suit though, right? Because I think one of the coolest things about this, so keep for people listening, we're gonna talk about the inspiration for the movie, but this is year 2 Batman. It's ending year 2.
3?
No, it's ending year 2. Now that I rewatched it, it was great to fucking I was like almost like with a notebook taking notes as I'm watching it.
So getting into year 3, so to speak.
Yeah, so it's actually October 31st of year 2. So he's ending year 2. So it's the first time we get to see, we saw Batman Begins, which is literally Batman Beginning. But
it's one of the best films ever made.
This is I think really we're getting to see Batman learning the ropes. He's already been on the streets for a little while. But one of the things I thought that for me was cool to see was the suit. I think this suit was very different than from what we've seen before, but it was extremely bulletproof. What do you all think of the suit?
Arkham City, like that shit was wild. The amount of bullets that he was taking, to be fair, I've never seen any Batman take so many bullets. Now that when you think about it, like he was just a walking tank.
Yeah.
And entering his 3rd year, ending his 2nd with no usual. For example, with Bale, we got the whole thing when he was with Fox, in like that weird in between floor and Wayne Tower, getting his tech. You saw some technology, like when it came to Batman 89, he was deep into his career at that point. Really, you got that type of tech in your 2nd year as Batman? Are they trying to justify it because it's like in the 2000s? But still, it was wild. It was too much.
Well, that's a good point, right? Because it is, right? It's not Batman 89, right? It's not technology of 1989. It is the technology of 2022, which we would assume Batman's tech is ahead of the fucking game by at least a decade, I bet.
But relatively speaking, though, like in 89, not saying that is 89 tech, it's advanced tech, relatively speaking. And that Batman, brain fart. What's his name?
Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
How dare you.
Let's not get into that. Let's save it. but Keaton, like that Batman, he's deep into his years in Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like at least a decade, one could assume. He's a grown-ass man. This one has like the tech that every other Batman would have, but this is like the earliest of the live actions we've seen. It was unsettling on the low. It was wild.
Something I think I'd like to see, actually, now that we're talking, is I liked it. I liked the suit. I thought it was pretty practical, and like you said, like from the games. I do wonder, like he took too many fucking bullet gunshots, like in actually pretty close range. It wasn't really until the last fight at the Gotham Square Garden scene where he gets a shotgun to like the chest, like close range, that knocks him out.
Happen twice?
Sniper rifle, yeah.
No, that was a shotgun. That was actually a shotgun because then he fills the shotgun, he opens it up and points the gun to his face when Catwoman shows up. So I thought that was interesting because it was different. It wasn't a sniper, it was a shotgun. Well, I don't know. I don't know guns. Can you have a shotgun?
Yeah, me neither. I don't know. Yeah, because I remember they all had like
yeah.
So fast forward to the end, they all had like these sniper rifles, and they're trying to assassinate the mayor and shit. What was the mayor's name? She had like a cool sounding name.
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember.
She was epic though.
Yeah, it was some epic.
But
very quickly, just on topic. So, age when cast, because we're talking about Michael Keaton and when he became Batman. So we have Ben Affleck was 42 when he was cast.
Wow.
We have Let me see. Dark Knight Rises. Christian Bale was 37.
That was in the
George
third
Clooney,
movie.
Adam West, Val Kilmer were all late 30s. I don't know.
And
Fun fact.
Robert Patterson is how old?
I mean, like, it's kind of good that you brought that up because, like, I see it as the actor's
He's
age almost carries over.
35. Robert Patterson is 35.
Damn, he looks good for 35.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, right?
Fuck.
You think he's 30 or some shit.
Shout out to Pattinson.
It's so something I like. I actually would love to see like that Mythbuster show, right, or something. I want to see how realistic is that suit. Like, is there armor out there that could take that many fucking shots? You know, I would love to see that played out to have a sense of how.
Well, I have thoughts on that. Kind of. Well, this was kind of a topic, but also on topic. A few decades ago, there were these two dudes who got dressed up in total full body armor, like in West Hollywood, and had a full shootout with the cops. Do you remember that? That they got high on bar
some heat shit.
Yeah.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, yo, they got high on barbiturates, were dressed up in head to toe body armor, and went full on versus almost like an entire precinct of cops. So that was decades. So just going by the concept of how fast technology progresses, hell yeah, you got some shit like that now. It's just expensive as fuck, but it's doable. But the one thing is, like, I wonder, did this suit stop this man from kicking?
Yeah, because he was freaking all fists, man.
Real quick, did we have which is more epic bat suit? Is that on the agenda?
Ooh.
No, we just have
the
do it
real quick. Top 3.
Let's do it.
I think I gotta give it to this suit as the best. Not the best looking, because I mean there's cooler looking, but like we're talking like Chet, you said like Arkham City. This one is building towards that level.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the most tactical of all the costumes.
It's like the Mach 0.
Yeah, I think I would probably give it to this one as number 1, and then at number 2, I can't. Since the Michael Keaton costume was so iconic, and it's like one of the first ones I saw. Well, you know, aside from Adam West, I kind of got to go with the 89. Although in Batman Returns, it's a slightly different outfit. It's like it's a bit more tactical. Yeah. Similar to how Christian Bale became more tactical in The Dark Knight.
Right.
And then at number 3, I probably got to give it to The Dark Knight. Christian Bale.
I actually would I was thinking the same thing. I would just probably flip it around. Like number 1, I would have the Batman. This one, Patterson's suit, I think is my favorite suit so far. The second one, I would give it to the Dark Knight, I think, but closely tied to, almost tied to Bruce Wayne. I mean, Batman 89.
Well, for me, it would be Bale, Pattinson, Batflick. Straight up.
I'm actually surprised, Rod, that you didn't put Batflick up there, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, it's the most comic book, but it's not tactical. Like that's the thing. Although he moved the best out of all the Batmans ever, surprisingly, it was basically from the comic. He just jumped out of Jim Lee's fucking Hush comic book and came to life, in my humble opinion.
Yo, but speaking of
because it was weird because like Batflick's suit is supposed to be the skin tight on top of his muscles, but it's a suit that looks like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird gray area. While the other ones are just straight up a guy with armor that happens to be shaped like muscles. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then with Pattinson, you see that it's clothed, you know, because it's early. With Batflick, it's his suit is designed to look like a skin tight suit on top of muscles, but it's the suit that he's wearing.
Right.
It's some suitception shit. I don't know, but I'll just keep going.
But besides the suit, how did we feel about the rest of the tech that we were able to see? Because we didn't see that much tech though, but I did love like the little things like the eye thing.
Oh my God.
Recording everything.
Yep.
That was dope.
The reason behind it was why I loved it, because you can't remember shit because he doesn't sleep. Oof, the grounding of that, and the fact he has to like review everything while he listens to mad like Nirvana, like that emo in the train station, straight up, like it's wild. I like that a lot. And like how practical of a setup you had to have across the street. You had to fucking set up like a whole IT setup with fucking like think about how early he had to get on the other side of the club to set all that up for him and Catwoman before she went in. I'm jumping ahead, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a Catwoman's place, I think, where he set up. No, or but yeah, exactly. Like that's IT. And well, Chaz, you work in IT, so you know that takes time
For him to set up took him at least like a solid 30 minutes before he sent her out. That was not shown in the movie. Just going off of an estimate. All this shit. And he had to bring a bunch of stuff with him.
I actually loved also like with this second rewatch to pick up those little details, like you said, because he explains, right, that he records because he's not sleeping much, and so then the days blend and he gets confused, which is, I'm like, that's true, right? Obviously, also as a psychologist, I know what the fucking sleep deprivation can do. But I love the little details too, because in that first scene when he talks to Alfred and then like he goes to bed or something and then comes down to meet Alfred, where Alfred's in this gothic ass table in the daylight. When Patterson walks in, he kind of like squints a little bit. He's like, oh, like the light, like he doesn't like that. And then he puts sunglasses on. I'm like, it's mad little, like that has nothing to do with the story, but I feel like I love that little fucking detail.
Word. Which kind of goes to show, like, this is one of the times when you see the demands of being Batman on Bruce Wayne. Like physically, you don't see that shit often. Like Bale's mad epic with it. Fucking wakes up, does dead drop push-ups, drinks a green juice out being Bruce Wayne and shit. This one is like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, what am I doing?
Rod, what did you love the tech, man? Because you know you're the biggest Batman fan. Fucking
I was trying to give you guys space because I don't want to. I don't want to take over and shit.
Go for it.
Go for it, bro.
So let's talk about Bruce Wayne first. Right, let's analyze. Let's go behind the mask.
You just started a lecture, right? I'm not gonna lie, your voice got a little deep.
He opened a PowerPoint presentation on his
definitely the darkest, most disturbed Bruce Wayne. Right, the most impacted by his other life, by his alter ego, and I was looking forward to that. I was looking forward to just seeing a Batman who's also kind of psychotic, and it's on the surface because we even see him stalking Selena at one point, which I thought was really cool and creepy. I'm like, because there's always been this thing like in Gotham where is Batman one of these crazies that makes it such an unstable place to live? Is he just perpetuating this madness? He thinks he's stopping it, but he's just attracting.
Just to interrupt quickly, I wouldn't necessarily say stalking, per se, because I think he was being a detective, right? Because he saw that Selena looked at the photo that he was showing Penguin. She looked at, so there was some, and he recognized the boot in the photo, and so he's like, I'm gonna follow her, as a detective. So
but she starts taking her clothes off.
With
like
a gentleman
would be like, hold up, the detective work can take a pause.
Nah, throbbing cock like that on the rooftops of Gotham.
But it was cool because it shows how he became intrigued by her and how that romance starts in a creepy ass way. Although I've never seen this shit on Netflix, but I'm assuming it's some creepy shit from the promos.
Damn, that's a good point, man. That's a good point. Shit.
Yeah, I also felt like this was the least layered Bruce Wayne, probably the least compelling of all the Bruce Waynes, easily, right? Obviously not counting Adam West. He's like some Hugh Hefner ass. I don't even know what the hell's going on there, but I feel like this was, and again, the parallels to Andrew Garfield. It's a good presentation, it's a good meal, but then you just get left like, damn, I don't know. It doesn't. It's missing something. Like it doesn't have the acting chops, because coming out of this movie, I automatically thought about Batman Begins, which I saw with Ches way back in 2005. I think that came out
back in the day.
Yeah, so I remember leaving that movie like, okay, it's a good start. They cast Christian Bale, who I already loved from American Psycho,
right?
And I feel like the acting was there. Gary Oldman, Michael Caine, like a lot of A-tier actors. Yeah. This one, I didn't feel like it had like the ensemble cast to really carry it into film status like Nolan's movies did.
Facts.
But it left me saying, okay, like Matt Reeves built he built the scenery and he set the stage for new things to come. So with regards to like starting a new franchise, this one wasn't great, but definitely a good start.
I agree. I think that's actually a good point. And actually that kind of echoes what Gina, my wife, was saying yesterday about the movie, because that's true, especially comparing it to The Dark Knight, right? It's the paper. I'm actually, considering now hearing these comments. Right? But that we didn't really get too deep into much of the characters, right? Because and even in the Nolan films, we at least to some characters know them a little bit more, care about them a little bit more, right? Than when we do here. Like I think Catwoman maybe was the one that we got a little bit more information about her, and even James Gordon, I think I kind of cared about him more because he was like just a random dude, like what the fuck's going on? Like, and
he seemed a little dopey to me though. I don't know, like
I enjoy.
For the record, I enjoyed Jeffrey Wright's performance. Like he's a good Gordon. Like he's top tier Gordon. The way the character was handled, he could have seemed a bit more present. I don't know. He seemed to be just delivering lines, like questions. Like, you know what I'm saying? He could have been a bit more insightful as opposed to more inquisitive.
Right.
Woo! Mic drop.
Side note. Jeffrey Wright does the voice for Batman in Batman: The Audio Adventures, which is on HBO Max and Spotify, whatever. So he's doing the same exact voice that he does in the Audio Adventures. So it's just funny when they're interrogating the Penguin that we'll get into. Was it Colin
Farrell? Shout out to Colin fucking Farrell.
So yeah, it was just funny hearing them both do their Batman voices, and I feel like Jeffrey Wright is the superior actor and the superior Batman. But yeah,
yes, I agree. The one thing I think at least I do,
wild.
Matt Reeves didn't give us much, but I'm hoping for the sequel will get more like, because exactly we got this very like dark and emo Bruce and who's struggling, and he also, you get kind of like a spoiled kind of like, the way he talks to Alfred, like, you're not my father, and with the cufflinks, like, oh, are you a Wayne? Like, damn, dick, like, what? Don't be such a fucking jerk. But the one thing I like though, that at the end, right after Alfred, is blown up and then he's in the hospital, that kind of helped, I think, Patterson to become the Bruce Wayne that we'll know from the books, right? Where he's more like, saying something about he never thought he'd feel fear again about losing someone he cared about. And so now he was nice, right? And so I feel like that was what he needed to go through to hopefully not be a dick. And I'm hoping for the sequel, he's going to get a haircut. He's going to be more proper Bruce Wayne. Because like Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne, we're going back to the Dark Knight. Like it was great the way he changed from Batman to Bruce Wayne. And yeah. But it was good.
I have thoughts about that scene in the hospital. Good acting on what's this dude's name? The one who played the Claw dude.
Andy Serkis, yeah. I enjoyed his acting in that scene. I felt like Pattinson overacted in the hospital scene. I don't know, just felt a little bit soap opera-y from his end. But I appreciated the moment though. I don't know, like just something about that scene was like,
for a moment in the movie theater, I thought Matt Reeves was just gonna be bold and just kill Alfred off in the first movie. I thought that would have given this movie a whole other point. So whatever we're gonna give it, that shit would have just been, oh, this shit is real. Because like this one is trying to sort of, in my opinion, be like the Joker, and that it's like very grounded and very gritty. I think the Joker is probably the grittiest Batman universe film ever. And I feel like this one was kind of like building off of that, almost to the point where the Gothams can almost coexist in a way, maybe. Whatever.
No. You know what? I really felt like this Gotham was very much in the spirit of like the Nolan one. Like they carry like very similar tone. Like you could almost overlap them, and it's like, oh shit, it's the same universe. It's almost to the point that like if you eliminate Batman Begins, Pattinson grows up to be that Batman.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd say that he'll grow up to be Christian Bale's fucking Batman. But
yeah, like it's a transition.
I agree with both of you about the Gotham City. I think this Gotham City is a mix of Joker and Nolan's Gothams, I think. But even that in of itself, I really loved Gotham City in this movie. I felt like it was we were in it more. We were in the streets more, and we got to see things. And actually, I rewatched The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises right after I saw it the first time, and we do get a lot of shots of Gotham, but I don't know. It feels more like a backdrop versus here. It really did feel like, oh, I'm in fucking Gotham, and it matters. And it looked a lot like New York in some parts too, so which was kind of fucking cool.
Yeah. And for the Joker, it's like the Bronx, like Gotham,
which
is the
exactly
Bronx.
was,
where it was, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, but back to that point very quick. I just felt like they should have just killed him off. That would have been so beautiful.
That would have been a brand
just to
new
push this
take.
Batman over the edge. You know, he's already dark and twisted. And this movie, the comparisons to Seven are obvious, right? It really wants to be Seven, one of the greatest films starring fucking Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
I got that vibe low key too.
And that other dude that like
and Kevin Spacey before he got canceled.
The now defamed Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
He still got bread though. He chilling.
Facts.
But yeah, anyway,
opportunity. With the thing with Alfred though, I disagree. I respectfully disagree. Just because when Alfred was blown up, I didn't give a fuck. Like I cared because I care about Alfred, but I didn't care about Andy Serkis Alfred. Like we had him like 2 scenes before, 3. Like I felt like, you know, I felt like Matt Reeves was really banking on us already caring about the characters because of the mythos and everything we've read, not so much about themselves in this universe. Because like I think for Michael Caine, I care about Michael Caine, and even Jeremy Irons, like he's in it. Like and for Andy Serkis, it was more like I like him as an actor. He's fucking come on. He like Lord of the Rings fame. He was Golem. He was fucking the main ape in Planet of the Apes, like in Claw and Black Panther. But I think he could have used more Alfred in this film for me to care about. He got blown up. It's like, oh, okay.
Dude, I just had this fucking epic idea. I feel like they should have killed this Andy Serkis Alfred towards the end of the movie. And then somehow, amidst all the wreckage, Benson discovers a technologically savvy and gifted inner city African-American youth and becomes his assistant. Woo! Check all the boxes. You get a Black Robin. That would have been epic.
Well, wait, the Black Robin becomes Bruce Wayne's assistant?
Yeah, like in the cave, though, not like his butler.
I
want to heavily avoid that.
That's going more like slave type of tropes, bro.
Not a black butler.
Chess, don't be racist, bro.
No, but it could have been a chance to introduce like Duke.
Yes,
specifically Duke. Not even like a Black Tim Drake. They could have introduced Duke in this universe, and I think they still can. They could still pull it off. You never know. Like that Joker or whoever the fuck can kill off Alfred, and like I don't know, he gets some new butler or some shit, like a meaningless background character, and then somehow he meets Duke because he needs help in the Batcave.
Joker do it,
You're getting into the speculation for the next film. That's some good ideas, though. Shit.
Oh, and real quick, just a quick side note: we did give a shout out to Colin Farrell. He seemed grounded as fuck, where he's usually portrayed as like one of Batman's crazy villains. He seemed more grounded than Bruce Wayne. Like he's just a criminal that happens to be fat, like,
which I love. I think you know, in the comic books he's been written in different ways. But like for instance, I love Penguin in Gotham because in Gotham the series, like he was like a criminal kind of like we saw him rise up and I think that's what we're getting here. And actually, like with that, like we have in the news, right? That, you know, fucking they already approved a series of the Penguin going straight to HBO Max, starring Colin Farrell. Like what? And that's on top of whatever. Because remember, they were already working on a Gotham PD show, which apparently now that's either paused or canceled, and it morphed into exactly a show about Arkham specifically, which I'm fucking on board for this, man.
Which I'm already seeing like a very American Horror Story Asylum inspired type of show that they're probably gonna do. With a little less, with like no paranormal aspect, but like I'm talking like probably that level of insanity type shit.
Damn. All right, but before we move on to the rest of the movie to describe, I do want to get thoughts on one crucial piece of the Batman that every Batman before him has been critiqued, analyzed about. How do we feel of Robert Patterson's Batman voice?
It was too sexual.
What? Wait, why are you against things being overly sexual? Freudian shit. Let's get into this. There's sexuality.
There's layer. I'm like, how is it too sexual?
Because we need to rein in man's perverse nature in order to excel.
Damn, some Kellogg shit. I'm not fucking with you.
Oh my god, some fucking Kellogg sanitarium shit.
So you found his
voice. You know something? I don't even remember how he sounds. Low key.
It was very whispery. It was
like I don't even. Like he had very few lines, and with him, I feel like I've heard him speak so much in his natural like what manner of speaking that I can almost hear the American accent on this one. Or no, maybe I'm just thinking too much about
Wait,
it.
what do you mean? I'm confused.
Because you know how he's doing like an American accent, right?
Yeah.
For this. And I'm just so used to him just being like delivering his lines so eloquently in his native. I don't know. I don't want to say accent. His just
but
how would you
he's
say
British,
language?
no? Because he's British.
Because would that be an accent or is that just English?
Yeah, no,
Did he
it would
play-
be
wait,
his,
but
like
did he
a different
play-
accent. Yeah.
I'll say
Did
English
he-
accent just for clarity.
Did he play Edward Cullen English? I thought he was American.
I never saw that shit. I saw what's that recent Nolan movie?
Oh, Tenet. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Tenet.
Yeah. Fact.
Yo,
He was
I
British in
think
that?
Robert
He was
Pat. Yo,
himself?
in my dream fucking cast, I would put him as John Constantine. I think he would be a spectacular John Constantine.
I like.
And he would
that.
just have to be him and just be him badass with a trench and a cigarette.
That's dope. I like that.
But with him
Good point.
as Bruce Wayne, I don't know. I just feel like, okay, here's a British guy trying to be a New Yorker, a Gothamite or whatever. It's just kind of weird.
So what helped me to kind of figure this out, because I liked his Batman voice, because I don't think we got a lot of lines as Bruce Wayne. We got a lot of lines of Batman, and his Batman voice was just kind of his voice, a little raspy, but not too much. And it helped because we, like, for the listeners out there, like us and with some of our friends, we saw the Batman the weekend it came out. That day when I got home, I started watching The Dark Knight that same fucking night. Like, I got obsessive about Batman. I read a bunch of Batman, like a fucking deep dive. And reminded me of like one of the things I really didn't fucking like about the Nolan universe is Christian Bale's Batman voice is terrible.
Yeah.
So
I'll
exaggerated.
Because his nose
cartoonish.
was like pinched with the cowls. It was always like, I can't breathe through my nose. And I found that weird. Like my guy, open up the nostril part, like so you could breathe. Obviously, easily the fucking best Batman voice is Ben Affleck. Tell me, because he actually had like a phase shifter, and then you see like Alfred fucking with it.
Word.
Yo, I just love
That was dope.
because you have to mask the voice. I mean, obviously, you're seeing the guy's fucking the whole lower half of his face. Like
What
it's not
about
enough just to do a voice. You kind of gotta like really mask it.
Yes.
I felt like Keaton had actually like he altered it to the point that like you can kind of tell it was him, but it's like, wasn't it like a little bit gruffer? Like, I'm Batman. Like, didn't he also alter it a little bit?
More whispery. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember George Clooney was just George Clooney. He didn't change it at all. Like he just spoke regular. And Val Kilmer was overly sexual as Batman. Also.
Yeah, he's the sexualist of the Batman. And also his costume is sleek as fucking slim. Like you want to fuck him. Like
yo, that Batman fucks.
Yeah, and remember, was it Chase Meridian? She just throws herself at him like with the bra, and she's like, "This is." I don't remember what she says, but he's like, he just doves it.
That was Schumacher too, right?
Yeah, that was Forever.
He was horny, son.
Well, yes, this movie was not Schumacher at all, right? This was not horny at all. This movie was dark. It was noir. We haven't seen like really, I feel like a noir Batman like this, really, like, because we got like a dark quote unquote Batman with the Zack Snyder movies, but this is different. I feel like this is more noir with, I that was a good comparison to Seven, Rod, because we got the Riddler, where we got fucking straight up serial killer a villain, but this is a very different Riddler from the fucking books, right?
Paul Dano.
What do you guys think of Paul Dano's Riddler?
Fucking amazing. I think it was, my whole thing is he could have cut back a little bit on the manic laughter, because that's kind of like the Joker's thing a little bit, but I enjoyed everything else, like I feel like they could have explained it in the movie why he dresses like that, as opposed to me having to read it from a Paul Dano interview on some like movie page on Instagram. So he's dressed like that because the Riddler's so meticulous, which is part of his character, that he would never leave any trace of any DNA behind. Ooh. So why would he dress like that? They didn't say that in the movie.
That would have been good. Yeah, because in the movie, he only really mentioned it like when he was talking to Batman about like the mask lets me be me, right? This is me, and so that like, oh, I guess that makes sense. But no, you're right. Like everything else, because he was so covered up and not leave any DNA evidence, like that's That's fucking perfect. And the other thing, actually, with that, because I did read that both him and I think Matt Reeves were really inspired on the Zodiac Killer for his inspiration to be for Riddler, right? And you know, for those of you who don't know the Zodiac Killer out there, yeah, he's actually still out there. He died maybe already from old age, because this was a killer unidentified, never captured in the 60s that operated in Northern California.
I like you were like, nah, like trying to instill fear in the listener. Like, yo, he's still out there. He's like 85 and shit. He can't even get off the couch. Wow.
I recommend, there's a great movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Robert Downey Jr. called Zodiac. That
I heard that shit was good.
It was really good. It's actually on Netflix, or was on Netflix. I recommend that. And because the cool thing, because he would give como se dice, the ciphers and stuff like that too to newspapers, very much like what the Riddler was doing, leaving clues to Batman. So that's like I fucking love that, man. I love this version of the Riddler.
That was dope. Yeah, facts. I really enjoyed it. I just wish they would have explained, you know, like his not modus operandi, but I guess his motif. Me trying to be fancy a little better, because like I said, I forgot what page French. I read it on. Because Shay is not chess. I had to read it from a random page. I forgot. I think it was a shout out to like Movie Geek or Geek Movie Facts. That one of those pages. I don't know, but we follow them. Awesome page. But yeah, like I had to fucking Paul Dano. Had to go through the explanation. I'm like, that's awesome. Not a lick of that shit in the movie. I enjoyed it because I knew. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But overall, the dialogue between them in the jail cell, that he thought Batman was like he convinced himself that Batman was working with him and shit. Like, and when Batman said, like, nah, you're fucking bugging. What are you doing? Like, no, the breakdown, like that shit was fucking awesome. I loved it. But yeah. Pause for editing real quick. Pause for editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool take on the Riddler, you know, because they needed a serial killer to bring the whole, because this movie is unique. I'll give it that. Word. It's a very unique look at Batman because it's a detective story, and I don't want to overuse the word grounded. I know we've been using that word a lot, but it is a very grounded, gritty detective story, which is what we expected. Noir. And then they turn the Riddler adapts to this new universe. So now he's like, you know, like a Zodiac Killer thing. And then the big reveal, luckily I didn't know too much about the actor or look at any interviews or even watch like the last trailers for this. So when the big reveal happens, I love the way he's just grinning. Like he's like a psychotic fanboy. And I thought that was like a cool take on the character.
True.
Hell yeah. No, I agree, because I do think this is the first time we really do get, like, I think I'm not gonna directly compare him to Heath Ledger's Joker, but it's like an actual person that's unhinged, that's psychotic, but fucking a genius, right? Because he's able to use Batman actually to fucking get his way. Because in a way, really, the Riddler kind of won, you know, like in the movie.
Facts. Like this movie zoomed out. Yo, shout out to Matt Reeves for subtly including a crazy body count in this fucking movie. So many people died. So many thousands. I think thousands of Gothamites died when the flooding happened. OD. But hear me out. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this Riddler is a weird gray area, which is, I think, where it's the right place between what's this dude's name? The dude that played the Joker.
Heath Ledger?
Yeah, Heath Ledger. Fuck. So between Heath Ledger's Joker and Jim Carrey's Riddler. This is a weird, like, if you fuse them together, you'd get Paul Dano Riddler, I feel. Because it's that amount of insanity, but also grounded in the mania. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't front on Jim Carrey's Riddler. There was some amount of validity to it. It was like, but he was a little bit too zany.
We recently, I mean, Miguel and I recently watched Batman Forever. We're gonna break it down. And I think it's an underrated movie. I think Jim Carrey was great in it. He's great in everything.
Actually, with that, let's take advantage and jump in to our fan favorite, fan requested, who's more epic? And we're gonna start off with Riddler, right? Because and let's focus on the film Riddlers, right? But I think Rod, you got a special shout out though.
Not just for the Gotham, Corey Michael Smith, who had elements of, like, you know, Jim Carrey there, but film-wise, we've had two.
Yeah, Jim Carrey and Paul Dano. So who's more epic, guys?
I go Paul Dano.
Jim Carrey, easy.
However, though, in Rob's
Elaborate.
defense, Jim Carrey pulled off a bigger scheme. Dude, they had a giant tower that tapped into
he
the
was like
minds of all Gothamites.
He was like
and became a
siphoning
god.
He was like siphoning intelligence from everybody. Yeah, that was really good.
He ascended. He became Homo superior on some wild shit. If you think about it, Paul Dano's a terrorist. Jim Carrey's Riddler's a super villain.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm gonna have to give it to Paul Dano too. I love Jim Carrey, but the thing is, Jim Carrey was a bit too zany, too campy, and too super villain. But he was fun to watch for sure.
That's what the film calls for. It's not like he's like, okay, I want to wear this. He brought his own costume.
No. I think when he went for Empire, he was like, yo, I need a full body, fucking skin tight unitard.
Bro, I don't slack on his physique in those days. My guy was like lanky, but he's wearing he's like a Spider-Man-esque type of deal going on. Shout out to Jim Carrey.
I enjoyed that
He's 70,
shit,
I think.
That Damn, he was good for 70.
I think so.
Bro,
I think he just turned 70. But he
turned 60. He's 60.
Oh, my bad, Jim Carrey.
He still looks good for 60.
Yeah, no. My only other thing is because I don't remember really a riddle from Jim Carrey, but I love that this Riddler really used a lot of fucking riddles, right? Like the one that killed me was the thumb drive, the fucking
facts.
That's so cool that he had to use them to fucking solve the mystery, even with the end, right? That the first murder weapon was the thing to remove the carpet for him to see the Riddler's ultimate plan. That is classic Riddler though, from the comic books. I love that, man. All right, so for this one we have two Paul Danos, one Jim Carrey. Let's keep going. Let's build our way up. Let's go with now fucking Commissioner or Captain James Gordon. We've had a few epic ones. Yeah.
Before we go to Gordon, I just want to say that I remember 3 riddles from the Jim Carrey one. It was the one that looked like the ransom note that they found in his apartment. The box that he sent to Wayne Manor that had the knights and all that shit that he read with Alfred. And then when he was about to rescue the doctor, that he was sitting on the throne, that he was going mad, that the answer was you're as blind as a bat or some shit like that. So there were definitely at least 3 to 4 instances.
I thought you were gonna quote the riddles. I'm like,
oh no,
impressive. I don't hear the one was look at the numbers on my face. Damn. You won't find 13.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See,
I love the scenes of Val Kilmer deciphering the riddles though, because he just has that playboy waspy privilege that we just love to see in Bruce Wayne. Is he American? Is Val Kilmer?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Val Kilmer's American.
Top Gun.
Yes. OD.
Yeah, I think it's Christian Bale and Robert Pattinson have been the first non-Americans, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Stop that. I'm sorry. I'll take.
Come on. All right. So for James Gordon, we have Gary Oldman from the epic Nolan fucking trilogy. We got J.K. Simmons that we saw somewhat of him in the Snyder movies, and we got Jeffrey Wright now. Who's Pat Tingle? Rod?
1989. What the fuck? I don't know what he's missing.
Oh, that Gordon.
Yeah.
Yo, does he even count?
Shout out to Pat.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that, just so I can have the rest of a civil conversation.
I respect that.
Who's the most?
I think he had James Gordon. I think he did them all. He did all 4 of the first franchise.
He did, yeah, right.
Damn. So if anything, he's the longest standing Gordon aside from the show. You know what? Damn, son. Most epic Gordon. Oof. You know what? I like Gary Oldman, that one was epic. The Nolan one, he sacrificed. He was with it. The trio between him, Dan, and Batman. I fuck with Gary Oldman.
Right, he fakes his own death in the Dark Knight, right?
Yeah,
shit like that.
Yeah, damn, you got to go with Gary.
If anything, that's been the most comic accurate as far as his depth of character and he's a shining beacon in Gotham. It's been that one.
I'm right there with you guys. Same reasons. Gary Oldman. Come on. I even think it's not fair to compare it to Jeffrey Wright because he's only had one film, right?
Yeah, facts.
Because Gary Oldman really like exactly stepped up in The Dark Knight. No, like I liked him in Batman Begins, but The Dark Knight, that's when he was like, damn, like he was one of the main characters, right? Like with Batman and Harvey Dent. But all right. So Gary Oldman. Sorry, Pat Hingle.
Damn. Son.
All right, next up, we got a few Alfreds now.
Yo, wait. J.K. Simmons didn't even get discussed.
I was expecting Rod to say something.
Word.
He's had the least screen time.
Yeah, he blended in. All right, Alfred.
And we got hype. Like, remember, they showed a photo of him fucking
yeah.
Para nada.
Casting wise, he's obviously my favorite because, like, of all the nothing against any of the actors on the list, but come on, it's J.K. Simmons. He's a pleasure. He's a delight to watch.
That's true.
and
like
at
de facto loved.
At least we're gonna get to see him again soon in the Batgirl. He's gonna be James Gordon there. He's gonna be Batgirl's dad. You know.
So he's two anchor characters. Yo, J.K. Simmons is what if he's an anchor in our reality?
Fuck.
No. Right,
no. It's too early for that shit. We got different fucking Alfreds. Who's the most epic Alfred we've seen? We had Francis Michael Gu, who was the one in Batman '89, who same with Pat Hingle, that was the Alfred in all the films. We got Michael Caine, we got Jeremy Irons,
Michael Caine,
and Andy Serkis.
Wait, so Francis Michael Gu was the one that was Batgirl's uncle?
Yeah.
The Silverstone's uncle?
OG.
I like that Alfred. I like that
so
Alfred.
Classic.
Nah, because you know what it is about that Alfred? Since that Batman is deep into his years as Batman, like who knows if he's so old that he could have had that epic MI6 past. Like you know what I mean? Like actually, weird take. I know everybody probably thought I say Michael Caine. I'm gonna say Francis Michael Gu.
Okay. I'm gonna have to give it to Michael Caine. Fucking favorite Alfred so far.
You can skip over me because obviously Jeremy Irons.
As a matter of fact, I just fucking call goosebumps, yo. Like, if you remember, the Francis Michael Gu Alfred left all the data for Alicia Silverstone to find. So he designed all her shit, if you remember correctly.
I don't remember any of that shitty movie. Trash movie.
So that Alfred actually designed a bunch of shit for Batgirl in that movie. As in that movie in years. I don't know why I remember that shit. I'm upset that shit is taking up space. But still, fucking that Alfred is actually epic if you go back and look.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Fuck. All right, move.
But Rod, you give Jeremy Irons.
He's kind of like a relic too of like because I feel like the whole concept of the Butler. I feel like I like that they killed him off in the comic books because we gotta start phasing that out. Because is that even a thing? I love it when they make
it is, dude.
I love it. Like for example, I'm watching like Pennyworth, and I love it how they make Alfred more of a guardian, like a godfather, and then just cut the whole Butler shit. I mean that Mr. Belvedere shit. But like for me, I would easily go with Jeremy Irons just because fucking his line.
Yeah, he was epic. He was epic.
He's like a tinkerer too, right? He's always tinkering on new gadgets for Bruce Wayne, and the fact that he has to deal with like this Bruce Wayne who's older, alcoholic, and sleeping with women. All that, I just love it.
Violent. Plus, I get the vibe that like at any moment, like I feel like that Alfred, he's still involved with his MI6 world on the low. Like he's still a contact and shit. Like at any moment he could like he'd be like, all right, I'm off, Master Wayne. Like he knows, like that Bruce Wayne knows Alfred is still involved. Like they're a squad type shit.
Yeah, the most HBO Max
Alfred, show. All right, no. Actually, no. Fuck it. I'm gonna change my answer. No, you're right. You guys convinced me. Jeremy Irons. I gotta give that. He's the best Alfred so far. He's the most epic one. I agree with Rob.
Yeah, my guy piloted the Batwing while drinking scotch.
Yes. The next one is tough, dudes.
All right, so we got the Penguin. We've gotten less options, right? Obviously, we love the fucking one from Gotham. He was a great Penguin. We just mentioned it, but we got Danny DeVito and Colin Farrell now.
I have a hot take. I just thought about it.
And talk about like a crazy contrast.
Yeah, I have a hot take. I just thought about it right now. I'm gonna go with Colin Farrell because Danny DeVito's natural, interesting genetics allowed the costume crew to be lazy because he already looks like the Penguin.
What?
He already looked like the Penguin. They didn't have to do much.
They did a lot to him.
Yeah, I actually saw recently.
Yeah, it was
they gave him
some of the prosthetics and all
not
that.
too much. Like he got the fat suit, but Colin Farrell had to get inserted in some Iron Man shit. You know what I mean? Like
I feel like you low-key basted on Danny DeVito's looks just
No,
now.
it's
You're basically a mutant penguin man. You don't really need anything.
Yo, I bet you behind closed doors someone said that shit, and it was never said aloud. Like, yo, Danny DeVito would save us some money on prosthetics when you consider, you know, like, yo, dude, I love this performance. I love Danny DeVito. I'm a giant fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I fucking love Danny DeVito. But I give it to Colin Farrell because he had to do more. Imagine all the makeup he had to do. That's some drag shit.
Damn, I don't know.
I think they both had a lot of makeup to go on. But the thing is, like the Colin Farrell's makeup was more realistic, though. That was crazy to see. Like that's actually, I'm sure somebody out there in the world actually looks like that. Versus with Danny DeVito, I don't think anybody really looked like that. Oh,
yeah,
I know they added the nose on Danny DeVito in the flippers, and the fat suit, but I just feel like they had to do less to DeVito.
He had a lot of makeup on. Like it was like he looked sick.
Yeah, look, they added to DeVito. Yes. They had to make Colin Farrell completely different human. Like it looked like that dude ate Colin Farrell.
This one, I'm gonna go with Colin Farrell. I think just because, like, again, like the universe that he exists in, it just allowed for a grounded, gritty penguin, like. Because the one in Batman Returns, okay, Batman 89 kind of starts semi-realistic. It obviously has its fantastical elements. Yeah. Batman Returns went bonkers. Like that's, like they put the penguin in a casket and sent him to the sewers, and he was raised by penguins. Like it gets wild.
And befriended dark clown carnival people. In the
it gets crazy. So you really got to abandon all sense of realism. Whereas this one, it's like, okay, it's again, the influences from the Arkham series can't be denied. Like the Iceberg Lounge and all this business. Because like out of all Batman's rogues, remember the Penguin doesn't necessarily go to Arkham because he's like a legitimate mob mobster.
And a son of Gotham.
Yeah, and he's out there.
Old school.
Yeah, he's out there. He's exposed. It's like, this is my club. I'm out here. Whereas the other rogues are like hidden and always scheming some shit. He's like, yo, this is my club. I'm making money and doing mad illegal shit, whatever. So yeah, I dug that.
Like even to the point, like didn't like the Cobblepots get kicked out of the Court of Owls or some shit like that? Like they're of that range of family. Just so happens that they fell from grace, if you want to call it that. It was like the Waynes, the Cobblepots, the Arkhams. You know what I mean? Like the founding families of Gotham. And I think just Oswald specifically, he just took the fortune and became a criminal with it. Like Colin Farrell's criminal, like he's an actual criminal. He's a mafioso. He's a made guy, so to speak. The Danny DeVito one, he's criminally insane.
Facts.
Yeah. And also, wait, I don't think we even had this planned, but I just thought about it because of Billy D. Williams in Batman 89. Most epic Gotham mayor. Because technically the Penguin did become mayor, right? He won, or he was running for mayor.
Harvey Dent, he's a DA, right?
Yeah, Harvey Dent is a DA. But you had Billy D. Williams.
But Billy D. Williams was Harvey Dent, right?
No, he was the mayor of Gotham.
No, he's Harvey Dent.
He's Harvey Dent.
The mayor.
Who's the mayor?
It was some Ed Koch guy. It's funny because they got an actor that kind of looked like Ed Koch, and I think, or is it Cook? I don't know. Fucking people pronounce that shit.
Never mind. Yeah, never mind. Okay, never mind. I thought the mayor was Billy D. Williams for some reason. I really felt like it was Billy D. Williams. Never mind. But yeah,
who finally sees the transition into Two-Face in the Batman 89 comic book on DC Infinite. Check that out.
Facts.
And we have Roscoe Jenkins was the mayor in Batman Returns, per Wikipedia.
Is he black? That sounds like a black guy's name.
Racist.
Nope. White dude. Mayor Jenkins. No, Jenkins, yeah.
Hashtag cancel rap. But yeah, definitely.
My guy Roscoe Jenkins. All right, let's continue.
Let's continue. Because we got. All right, we all got Colin Farrell except Ches. Ches got Danny DeVito. We all got Colin Farrell.
Yes.
We all got Colin Farrell, man. We've gotten some good Catwomen out there
Yeah.
in the world, right? We got
All of them
Michelle
have been
Pfeiffer,
good.
yes, Anne
Yeah.
Hathaway, Zoe
Mhm.
Kravitz, and in you know, we're not
Eartha
really going to talk
Kitt.
about it, but movie wise, right? Because then we got
Halle
Halle Berry, right? Which not that good, but
Yeah.
I still gotta watch that shit like high as fuck one night. I
Yeah,
gotta just sit through
I never
it.
saw that.
I refuse. Let me know how that goes.
All right, so Michelle Pfeiffer, Anne Hathaway, Zoe Kravitz, who's the most
Wait,
epic
do
Catwoman.
we say Zoe Kravitz or Zoe Kravitz? Like, how do we do the like? Does that go in there to the last name? Is it a
What?
Jewish last name, or is it Zoe Kravitz, or
It's
is it like a
Kravitz.
Jewish-
Her father's the musician. What's his name?
Which I know that, but
Kravitz.
isn't he like half Jewish? You have to say the specific.
Yeah, but come on, like you always say Kravitz. What's his name? Lenny Kravitz, right? Yeah, Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, it's Lenny Kravitz. Like I've always just said it, Lenny Kravitz.
Dude, in my opinion, this one isn't even an argument. Zoe got that hands down. She blew it up. She blew it out the fucking park.
Facts.
Like, that shit was wild, yo. That shit
I love
was
it.
wild.
I fucking loved it. I love that they brought in some of the Frank. I was like in the cut at Magic Johnson AMC in Harlem. Shout out
Yeah.
in the cut, just watching her beat Selena Kyle. Just saying,
Erect.
yes, because she was just
like that.
perfect.
Yes.
Ugh. When she jumps out of the fire escape after Bruce is all stalking with the boner, watching her get dressed and shit. She just like jumps out of the fire escape and just does her agility thing, which was never explained as per Ches.
Thank you. I was about to say that.
But whatever,
Like, what?
maybe we'll get some backstory on why she's a fucking Olympic level athlete or whatever.
With a fully built arsenal of shit in her apartment.
And her fighting prowess too. She goes one on
Which
one.
which doesn't even make sense, almost considering her weight class.
She's like
the
100,
impact
not even
makes.
100 pounds. You think she's 100 or less? She might be less. But anyway, Bruce Wayne Batman slams her right at one point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's easily Frank
Facts.
Miller-esque. And I've always been for this. Just make her black thing. And come on, just stop. She should. It just. I don't know.
By the way, I'm gonna call it out.
Beautiful.
The shift in the comments. Fuck you, people, as usual. People are gonna people. As soon as they announced it, Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman. Of course, I went into the comments to keep my ear to the ground. Why? Yada yada. And we all know why people were asking why. Just nobody was saying it's because she's black. Because people love fucking doing that shit. Then she does an amazing job. I dive into the comments and just, oh my gosh, she's amazing. No shit. People just chill the fuck out. Like, let shit play. I don't understand. I don't understand the reflex toxicity. I understand well thought out toxicity. That's different. That has a place in the conversation. If you can, but just get off the, like, wait, she's black? Nah. What? The fuck? Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, she's been black since the 60s.
Exactly. Like, I don't understand that. Like, that's so weird. That's so weird. For example, like, I wasn't against the fact when they made Starfire black. I wasn't against that shit at all. I wanted to see her take. When I saw her take, hey, I don't like her take on Starfire. I wasn't against her initially. I'm never against any like racial fucking recast initially. I see how it plays out. People bug me out with that shit. It's
Racial
so crazy.
recast. I like that phrase.
I coined that, I guess, I think just now. Did I?
Yeah, no, for sure. Because it's like, come on, people, just relax and like let's trust the directors and let's just. And we've already had so much, pleasant surprises from casting choices, even that have nothing to do with race that maybe we don't like. People didn't like Michael Keaton cast as Batman. People didn't like Heath Ledger cast as fucking Joker.
Word.
It's like people. Let's just
Ben Affleck cast as Batman. I can't believe I hate myself from like 2000 and whatever, 5 or whatever the fuck. I don't know. No, I'm bugging. That's 2016, whatever, 15. When they cast Ben Affleck, like I thought it was weird practice. He was older, and I kind of wanted to see like the MCU was doing, like starting fresh, building from there, like for decades to come. And I'm like, oh shit, Ben Affleck, what do you got him for like 2 films? Like fuck.
Right.
But we're gonna jump into that next.
Yeah, no, but Zoe Kravitz, best freaking Catwoman for sure. Easy. All right, now to the biggest one, Batman. Jesus Christ, who's the most epic Batman at this point?
Yeah, we've had this conversation at least 4 times.
Yeah, Bale. We're all gonna answer differently.
Ben Affleck, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Christian Bale.
Oh yes. I mean, Rod, we knew you were gonna go there. So
oh my god, BVS changed my life.
Now, what? The fuck?
That should change my life, bro. Like, as a I love DC comics, and the best interpretation of the DC universe in cinematic form is the Zack Snyder trilogy, hands motherfucking down.
So you're saying that you literally measure your life pre and post BVS?
Yes,
pretty much. Yeah.
I was lost. Like, I didn't know what was going on. But then I saw. God. Anyway, let's continue. I don't want to. Refer to our one shot if you're listening, where we go deep into the Snyder cut.
Respect. But what I was gonna say before I was taken aback by Raj, deep, soul deep dedication to BBS was diving into the comments like I like to do. I sense, and also from it as soon as we fucking got out, the phenomenon known as recency bias, which is what have you done for me lately? I don't understand why people are saying that this movie is better than The Dark Knight. What
people or Miguel? Because I haven't heard
a lot of people.
No, a lot of people online.
Dude,
yeah,
I swim in comment sections. I don't engage. I be on some weird fucking what's his name, David Attenborough shit. Just watching comment sections and analyzing, like, and keeping a pulse. Yo, a lot of people are saying that shit, dude. It's weird, and it's because they haven't watched The Dark Knight in a while. That's insanity. How fucking dare you?
I'll cop to it, because exactly, like, as soon as we were done with the movie, I was like, oh my God, I'm like, I think this might be just as good as The Dark Knight, right? And obviously with recency bias, right, we're biased for whatever happened recently right now. So I'm obviously, right, I literally had walked out from the theaters, right? So I was like, oh, I'm like, and then online, on Twitter, on fucking social, on Instagram, a lot of people are comparing it to Dark Knight. People are saying it's just as good. And even actually Matt Reeves himself, he told Christopher Nolan that he wanted this to be the next best Batman film, that he wanted to beat his Dark Knight. And so that was the aim. And then literally that night, I got home from watching the Batman and I started watching the Dark Knight, and about, I don't know, 20 minutes in at the most, I was like, oh, no. This is much better. Because it's nothing against Matt Reeves, but it's Christopher Nolan, man. Like, oh my God, he's an incredible filmmaker, storyteller, and there's nothing wrong with that movie except Batman's voice. That it was always jarring hearing him talk, but like from beginning to end, I'm hooked. Everything's so fucking meaningful. I care about all the characters. Harvey Dent, the I forgot the love interest name that
Rachel
Dawes, exactly. Rachel Dawes.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, who used to be the Tom Cruise's ex-wife from the first Batman Begins, right? What's her name? From
Katie
Dawson's
Holmes.
Creek, Katie Holmes, exactly. And like all of that, right? Like there was so much good, and like that scene when the Joker gives him the wrong address and he saves Harvey Dent instead of Rachel Dawes, like Jesus Christ, the movie, and then any scene with Heath Ledger in it is fucking incredible.
Magic.
Paul Dano was great as the Riddler. But yeah, the film was too long. I didn't care about everybody like that. Alfred got blown up. It didn't have the effect it did on me as it did when Rachel Dawes was blown up, right? Like, and even with Commissioner Gordon's fake death, like that impacted me more. Like, so it's the Batman's great, but no, come on, no. The Dark Knight is way better than the Batman.
Yeah, it's the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy because if you think about it, The Dark Knight also had a lower body count. But, the funny thing is Rachel Dawes died. Like, Alfred survived. Like, the Joker blew her up type shit. Like, this dude wasn't playing games. And he created Two-Face in the process. That conversation in the fucking hospital. Like, I'm just a dog. And, like, like, if I caught the car, I wouldn't know what to do if I play with it. Like, oh, my God. No.
Yeah, I was concerned when you said it was, like, better than The Dark Knight. I'm like, we need to just go home now and take a moment to ourselves. I was like, maybe it compares to Batman Begins, maybe,
right.
But then I feel like I still got to give the edge to Batman Begins because again, the cast is just stellar.
Yeah, because because then I got
Liam Neeson, my guy, Jesus Christ.
Because even like I said,
everybody.
As I said, I got obsessed, right, with them. Because then after that, I saw The Dark Knight Rises the next day, and I remember back in the day, I didn't love The Dark Knight Rises. I liked it, but I didn't love it, and I actually even think The Dark Knight Rises is better than the Batman. It was still just it's a better fucking
Maybe,
film.
yeah, it might
Yeah,
be.
it was just still really fun. So shit, man. And yet, that's the one thing. I mean, people have been saying that The Dark Knight's a better film, and this is a better adaptation. I'm like, I don't shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? It's like, what does that even
if you
mean?
think,
Yes.
I mean, I can get into the bullshit about that. If you think about it, yeah, The Dark Knight is a better film, but as far as adaptation, this shit had a ton of Easter eggs, because you can tell that it was heavily influenced by The Long Halloween in a way.
Yes. Right. We had a lot.
And there was
of
a lot of background stuff. Yeah, exactly. So it kind of like blended with the comics better, as opposed to with The Dark Knight. It is a better fucking movie. So I totally get when people say that.
All right, that's a good point. And that brings us right up to the last section of the show, because we'll talk about some of the comic inspirations, giving you guys some reading lists. But before we go into that, right, there were some Easter eggs throughout the movie that could potentially set up the next stages of for the sequel, right? Some of the bigger ones, I just dive into the biggest one so far, right? Is that at the end of the movie, the Riddler is next to someone else at Arkham Asylum, and it's obvious. I hope everybody fucking figure it out, right? It's the fucking Joker already in Arkham Asylum, actually played by Barry Kagan, who was Druid in the Eternals, which I'm for it. I would love to see him as the Joker. But what do you guys thought about that? Like, already giving us a little peek at the Joker. He's already in Arkham Asylum. What do you think?
Yeah, I got Woody Harrelson at the end of Venom vibes. I mean, it seemed heavy-handed, unnecessary, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was hoping they would save the Joker, maybe like they did with the Christopher Nolan. I guess at the end of Batman Begins, he has the card, right? And we're like, oh shit.
Right.
That was obviously a better scene setting up a Joker story. This one seemed forced. And they had like the cells next to each other and they can hear each other clearly. I was like, oh God. And then they start laughing. At that point, to me, the movie got somewhat like Titans-esque, Gotham-esque. Nothing against those shows. Well, something against Titans, because that shit sucks now. But it got kind of cheesy. Like, I feel like it was cheesy. I'm sure this guy will have a good go at Joker.
Interesting thing that you just brought up in my head. What if what fucked it up was the placement in the movie? I feel like that would have had more value as an after credits. As opposed to part of the movie.
Like it was the after credits moment for sure.
I feel like if that would have been after credits, we would have been like, whoa, as opposed to going, whoa, now we got to pay attention to some other shit.
Or what if instead we have that scene play out almost about the same, but instead of Barry Keoghan, it's Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
That shit would have blown up the internet.
It's swappable. It's doable because they showed what, like maybe 1/3 of his face. So that Joker could kind of be overtaken by anyone, really.
Right.
So yeah, it's totally possible, which is like, because it would lead in like that Joker was made before Bruce's, you know what I mean? So it could blend.
Damn, Joaquin Phoenix would have been good, but then people would have automatically assumed that they're in the same universe, which I don't think they are. But then you can have Joaquin Phoenix Joker, like that guy exists in the multiverse.
Right.
That would have been
very true. I mean, they still can.
And that's all the rage now. All the rage now is superhero cameos. Like we got fucking Charles Xavier. Woo! I'm blanking on his name right now. God damn it.
Patrick Stewart
coming back as Charles Xavier. Like that's all the rage now.
And Doctor Strange. And that's what they're telling us, like in the trailer. Like, what are they not showing us, right? Because like they kept secrets for so long, Toby and Andrew, that I'm like, fuck, we're gonna get some other crazy shit.
And there are two fucking specific things that stick out to me. At one point, Batman, like he gets knocked out for like the upteenth time by like a shotgun blast, and he takes some green shit and puts it in like an injection socket in his leg. One would instantly assume that's adrenaline, but it's green, so it could be that this Bruce Wayne created Venom. It's just not called Venom, but he could just, like been fiddling around. Maybe this Alfred has like, a background in biochemistry or some shit, and they made Venom and it gets out. And that was an awesome fucking Easter egg. And then the heavy involvement of the underworld of like Salvatore Maroni and all that stuff. those two aspects of the movie blew my fucking mind. That little tidbit and then that giant underlayer.
Yeah, man, that venom, right? Because that was, what is that he just injected himself with? It was fucking glowing green, and I think that kind of gives us like the same thing with the Joker, right? Which is like there's some backstory there that we don't know, right? Because is the Joker placed in Arkham because of Batman? Is he already the Joker? I think Matt Reeves said that he's not fully the Joker yet. So, but what? So is he like more Red Hood? The Red Hood first. Where are we at with that? And with Venom, is it kind of how Christopher Nolan was doing, although he didn't really use Venom, but that Bane was part of the League of Shadows, or League of Assassins. Like, is Batman gonna have that in his story here? And that's where he got it from. Like Ra's al Ghul made, I don't know, but like there's stuff to go from there. And with this movie, they're really hinting at like Batman is kind of creating these villains, right? Like, because that's what the Riddler said, right? The Riddler said, "You inspired me. Like, you showed me all I need is focused rage and violence to get my stuff done." That would make sense that if he makes Venom and then somebody steals it and leads the Bane, that it's his fault, right? That he made another villain for Bane. So that'd be interesting.
And low key, like the Joker in Arkham kind of ties into the Joker thugs in the beginning of the movie. I haven't connected that until now at all.
Me neither. You're right. So he already has like a gang, right?
Or inspired kids. You know what I mean? Like one or the other. Because you know how like the people of Gotham for some reason tend to be easily inspired by terrorism. What the fuck? Like fucking the people of Gotham pull out war drums for no reason, son. Like fuck. They're mad tribal. But yeah, like it could be like his gang is widespread throughout the city and they're waiting for their leader, and he could be like a shitty version of like a Morpheus type from not the Matrix, from the movie The Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Like some shit like that. But like you can see that like that place, like I never connected that until now, but those Joker thugs might set a foundation for the Joker that's in Gotham, in Arkham.
Fuck. All right, so we got stuff to work on for the sequel. And the last thing about the potential sequel, though, that I do think they actually hinted quite a bit more, that when I saw it again, it was more noticeable. Hush. So hear me out, because apparently Matt Reeves said that Hush wasn't part of an inspiration for the movie. He's already said that he would love to have Hush be a villain in an upcoming movie, right? And so in this movie, right, they told us that there was this one reporter that found this dirt on Martha Wayne, right, that was trying to blackmail, not blackmail, but just tell Thomas Wayne that I'm gonna get this stuff out, right? About the I don't know if you guys noticed, but the reporter's name, who eventually was killed by Falcone, right? His name was Edward Elliot, who we know Hush's real name is Thomas Elliot. And when in that scene, when Riddler is showing that stuff to Batman about like, what Thomas Wayne did, quote unquote, they have, when there's the photo of Edward Elliot comes up, he wrote Hush on top of him.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on. All right. So you're really pretty much, so it gives more reason, because I can see this then, because this was broadcasted to the world, right? So I can see Thomas Elliot, the son, go like, what the fuck? Bruce Wayne's, father killed my father. Exactly. That's what happened. I'm going to go crazy and enact revenge. Which is a different version of Hush from the comic books, because Hush in the comic books is not exactly that. They were childhood friends, right? But
I mean, they still could have been. That could belong right along with this universe. It fits perfectly well. And for example, this Thomas Elliot could be a doctor, and they confuse like the Hush concept with like blending into this universe a Professor Pig, where he's a surgeon that goes crazy butchering people on his way to get to Bruce Wayne somehow. You know what I mean? But they couldn't mesh those two into one wild Hush concept.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, so they can mix that and with the idea with No Man's Land too, because that was a long Batman story where Gotham was disconnected from the rest of the world, and they kind of had to fend for themselves. Which we actually Gotham the show, it kind of did that story really fucking cool and
ambitiously.
And so that's kind of how the movie ends, right? Like they're flooded and all that kind of stuff. So it may still be a No Man's Land type of world with Hush, getting power, and Penguin getting power. And so that could be the sequel. Actually, I would even say probably save Joker for another movie. I don't know, but well, I don't know.
Dude, with that shit, they could even bring in Lex Luthor and make him a Batman villain instead of a Superman one, or like some new Lex Luthor. You know what I mean? Where like he has to learn to be Bruce Wayne to deal with the corporate bullshit that comes with like dealing with like a Lex Luthor or like a Morgan Edge or some shit. They could bring in like, you know, like a sub villain that's one of those corporate motherfuckers. And he has to,
they'd have to bring in Metropolis, and you set up some expectations for another.
Facts. That's true.
For another
right
meeting between Batman and Superman.
Fuck,
man.
Damn. I watch my Reeves be like, nah, I don't want to do that because and because I've noticed that's how he is.
Yeah, especially because you got to really soup up Batman to make him coexist.
Yeah.
Obviously, Snyder did it.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, this Batman isn't as OP as the Snyder Batman, so he'd have a really hard time fucking with anything Superman level.
Yeah, fair enough. Well,
let us not forget that Batfleck like was fighting Doomsday at one point. I mean, granted, he was mainly dodging and shit, but that's insane that they pulled that off. That Zack Snyder was able to put Batman. Everybody's afraid to do that, right? Putting a normal man in this superhuman situation. But Zack Snyder did it. He did it fucking well.
Oh, for example, you know who would fit well in the Matt Reeves verse? Black Mask. Woo.
Oh, yeah.
Roman who we saw in the Fantabulous Emancipation, which Ches loved, of Harley Quinn.
I still haven't seen
Have you seen it?
Nope.
I still haven't seen
What would you rather watch, Catwoman or the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn, by far.
Yeah.
By far. Dude, I think Catwoman won like a Razzie or some shit.
A few.
Like, yeah, a few. That shit dominated the shitty awards.
Yeah, man. And because in that movie, the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, you know, Ewan McGregor played Black Mask, which is pretty fucking dope, right?
Yeah,
you know,
he did a good job.
Yeah, he did a good job. You know, so we
get him
back
as Obi-Wan coming up, by the way, people.
Soon.
Fuck.
All right, so those were all the Easter eggs, I think, and the speculations for the next movies. I think just the last thing, if you love the fucking Batman, there's a lot of books you should read that heavily influenced the movie, that even actually they took parts from it. You know, we've mentioned The Long Halloween. We recommend check out one of our old episodes. We reviewed the Long Halloween, comparing the animated movie, which is really fucking good, to the comic book, you know, which was written by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Which, you know, the comparisons start with like there's a serial killer in the Long Halloween holiday, and the killings start on October 31st. The movie starts with a murder on October 31st, right? You know, so it's there's all those similarities to that. Matt Reeves himself said that also Dark Victory was an influence, and that's actually the sequel to The Long Halloween, which I haven't read yet. Have you guys read that one?
Nah, I had never even heard.
I have. I don't remember.
Excuse my ignorance. I never even heard of Dark Victory, but I'm interested now because seeing as Batman has to learn from his lessons, Dark Victory must be like him fucking honing in super well from all the bullshit he went through during the Long Halloween.
Yes, exactly. And then the Dark Victory actually has Robin in it, and so I'd be curious to check that out. And then he also cited Year One, you know, the amazing book from fucking Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. That really reimagined, you know, that gave us the real origin story of Batman, like his first literal year. You know, obviously, it's kind of just in spirit. I think the movie was influenced because we didn't really. This is year two, but that's the idea of the, you know, learning Batman, and Commissioner Gordon isn't a commissioner, right? He's just a captain, and so there's that. And he also really said that Batman Ego was an influence. Both Robert Pattinson also said that he really loved reading Batman Ego, which I read recently. It's by Darwin Cook, so written and illustrated by him, who does like awesome like Art Deco type of art. And it's a trippy fucking book because it's really just about Batman kind of fighting. He's like losing it and has a hallucination and has a discussion with like Batman, but like Batman as like a monster kind of thing, like a specter. And so, because what happens is that basically the setup is that he's stopping a criminal. I think the criminal's about to like jump off of a bridge or something, and he stops him. And then the criminal says like, no, because he was working for the Joker. He's like, no, like you fucked up, because you guys didn't kill the Joker. And he's like, oh no, but the Joker's in Arkham. Don't worry. But he's like, no, like the Joker gets out. You guys never do it. And he knows like So I guess he was a rat or something, the criminal. And the criminal says, I killed my family to save them from the Joker's wrath. Because when the Joker gets out, because he's like, the Joker's gonna get out like always, he's gonna kill my family, and then he kills himself. And then the guilt of that fucks with Batman, right? Because then he's like, fuck, like, am I really doing anything good? Am I not? And he decides that he's like, I'm gonna quit. And from the guilt, that's when the Batman Spectre appears. And it's just this whole long discussion going through his rogues galleries and the Batman trying to push him to tell him, you should kill finally. That's how you'll take care of your guilt. And obviously it, leads to Batman choosing to still be Batman with his ethics. But it's an awesome psychological book.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's
Reeves.
Yeah, I recommend that book. And then obviously we saw elements of Scott Snyder's Greg Capullo's Zero Year, just which that's a long story that ends with Riddler flooding Gotham City, but then he takes control of Gotham. So we saw a little bit of that with the fucking como se dice, the flood. And then a little bit from the most recent Elseworlds type of book, right, from DC's Black Label, the Sean Murphy's White Knight. We saw little elements of that there. Have you read that one? No,
but like isn't but I've gotten like the overview of it. That's like the one where Bruce dies and which one is white? Oh no, wait.
Where the Joker gets cured and he becomes the White Knight, similar to the Harvey Dent arc in the Dark Knight. Yeah.
So I was thinking about the other shit.
The main comparison to that is that story really tries to actually connect that there's a seedy history to the Wayne family and that their wealth came from like criminal stuff and that Bruce Wayne isn't really, like, his family isn't as pristine, and so the movie tried to get at some of that as well. And so because in the book it leads to Bruce Wayne relinquishing his wealth and coming out as Batman to the world, and it's a really fucking cool book actually. And then the sequel is coming out soon. It's supposed to have Batman Beyond in it. So illustrated and written by Sean Gordon Murphy. Do our show.
Yeah, the Batman comic. Like, if you're gonna read one now, I would recommend that one. That shit was very satisfying. He pulled a lot of elements from the animated series in there too.
Yes.
Heavily influenced.
Yeah, there's 2 books already out. It's Batman the White Knight and then Curse of the White Knight. And then we're gonna get a new one soon. So definitely that's the book to get into
the history of the Waynes.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so what are we gonna fucking rate this borderline masterpiece?
Yeah, we almost forgot that we gotta rate it.
Should I go first then, just to kick off the vibe?
Do it.
I'm gonna give it a solid 8.75.
8.75. Shit, that's specific.
Fucking scientific, bro. We science here.
All right.
Rod?
I was trying to not do the 0.75 thing, but I think I have to do it. 7.75.
I think we could do 0.25s. You know what I mean?
7.75. All right, so we got Ches at 8.75.
Let's go 7.5. Let's go 7.5.
Damn. That's unexpected.
And I am. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Yeah, that's
8. Oh shit! I gave it the highest rating. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that gives us an 8.08.
So it's an 8. Yeah,
this is an 8.
So for reference, what 2 things do we think are better than the Batman?
I think because the other ratings that now that we're tracking our ratings, it's shows, right? So we gave Hawkeye a 7.6. We actually said Peacemaker was better. Peacemaker, we got an 8.6.
Yeah, that was better.
Peacemaker's better than the Batman.
Yeah.
Look at us fucking sciencing.
Peacemaker was valid.
Yes.
And so we gave this an 8. All right, exactly. Look at our fucking metrics right now, man.
Holds up so far.
Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. You gotta listen to us for our reviews.
Facts. All right. Whenever we track one, let's compare it to 2 things and see how we're doing so far.
Hell yes.
All right, peeps. Fucking, I gotta go watch that shit again. We recommend all you guys go watch that shit again. That note, we love you guys.
All right, everybody. Miguel.
Peace out.
Deuces.